Hangout is live. Okay. Sarah's coming back. I tried to inform people who got my message earlier last night when I was trying to set this up, saying, it was going to be on the 22nd. Well, that wasn't true. That's just Google doing Google. They're giggling, actually. I should call them giggles because they're having fun doing this stuff. Now, if I have anyone to invite, I'd like to invite them correctly. What I got here? Settings, adjust, camera, microphone, invite people. Okay, there are certain people I like to invite. Add name, circles, or email addresses. Well, I don't have his email address. I would like to invite some of these people I know to come on here because I can't get them on here otherwise. So you're going to have to give me a second until I find a link to, like, TJ. TJ's not on. I'm going to go to TJ. TJ. I don't know why he's not. I can't click on any of these. I can't even get his address. TJ, where are you at? Okay. I'm going to try to get you into my circle. This is going to take a few moments to get you in because I got to go here. I got to copy my Hangout, copy it, close it back up, come in here, find out where I can leave a message to you. I've done this before, but it's really hard to get you on here because they don't give a general. It's a general. Well, there's no iDrive. Okay, home. Maybe it's in home. I can do this. Share what's new. What is this, me? Oh, give me a break. I just want to share. Here. No, I don't want 100 free spins of bullshit. I want my message being. I just want my. No, no, no. I want it to be on my chat. And they allow this stuff. And I'm like, you're saying that you have so much bullshit out there that you're actually going to allow what? No, really. Are you going to allow what? Okay. Oh, right at the guys are a bunch of trippy people. The way you've set this thing up, it makes it almost impossible to use it. I don't know why you want to make it impossible to use. But you're real good at making it impossible to use. It must be a nice thing that you're doing. Oh man, every time I try to get on here, it's like it's like, it's like punching and crawling and everything else to get in here. It's like, and get other people that you know into it. Because I put my followers down, but this is my separate account. It works, but I can't get my original account that's been posted on, well, on IE, and they can't get in. They have no way to get in here. And it's like, really? I have over 200 and something people that can show up at any time, and only 10 can fit in the windows. But I have 200 and something acquaintances and followers and whatever, and 200 plus people. And I can't get any of them in here when I want to talk to them, like minds, because, well, Google and YouTube decided to screw it all up and turn it into a nightmare. And that's what I've seen. I'm seeing a nightmare of people trying to get in here. Nobody can get in here. It's like a closed door. It's like, it's a one-way. It's like I'm talking at a radio station without a phone and have people to call in. I mean, it's really terrible. And that's what it appears to be. It's like, what, you took the phone away, but you allow me to come on live. I don't know how I'm supposed to talk to my friends and have a conversation with them live, that we can have a dialogue between us. I get a few people every once in a while, and we're able to figure it out. It comes to them, and they're able to tap on the link and come right on in. But I have other people, and some of them are actually on here, but they won't talk up. They won't come into the conversation, and I'm always flabbergasted by it. It's flabbergasted. I mean, it was only like 6 months ago, I could fill my entire 10 people on here without a problem. And suddenly now I'm not getting that. And it's weird. I'm not getting the 10 people on here to talk to. It's very frustrating. And I got the group chat open. You at least talk on that. Open up the group chat on here, and I mean, it may not be visible because I've went over here to turn it on, and they have not highlighted them. So you have to go up and with your mouse and go to the very top where it says chat. Open up your chat window. That's at least what's happening on mine, and that's my window. And it's kind of like it's hidden, and I don't know why they hid it. There's no reason or explanation why they hid the chat. It's there, but it's invisible until your pointer goes over it on your mouse, and that's how they're working now. I'm actually considering rebooting my system to system settings using my disk and just eliminate everything. I'm always being pestered by these people saying, you have technical problems with your Windows and with this and that, and you have to call us up, and we're getting your computer and put more shit in there that will fuck it up. I'm ready just to start over on a clean slate and have to put all my software back in again. Because I can do that. I can actually do that. I had him call me up. I talked to this one firm, and he got in there and he started working, and then he just told me, well, you have all these problems. I can fix it for $200. That sounds like blackmail to me. I don't know if you've ran into that problem yourself, talking to these technical advisor people that come on there and say, you've got this problem, and you got to call us up, and we'll fix the problem once you let us on your computer. Well, I'm ready to just wipe the slate, put the original programming back in, and start over again. I don't have no viruses or no anything. I just have to put everything back in. And that takes about 8 hours. I know how hard that could be. There are a lot of people that sit down for 8 hours and reinstall software that you have. A lot of videoware and, like Nero. I got the Nero disk. I got, Photoshop disk. I got all this stuff. It takes about, at least 30 minutes for each of those to install. And you go through all this, and then you got to go and find all the other stuff you had on your computer, which is, stuff like mini cams. I have to go back to mini cams and reinstall mini cams on here. I got to reinstall, oh hell, let me just tell you, DIVX. I got to reinstall that. I got to do my BB Flash again, my Adobe Reader, my Adobe Photoshop. It's an iTunes. Of course, I have iTunes. I have money in that, so that's why I'm gonna have to reinstall that. That's 132 megabytes, and it's like I'm on. I know I'm on the internet. Flash type thing where it installs faster. You imagine if you still had dial-up, how long it would take? It'd take you 20, 25 hours to reinstall everything on dial-up. I have DS. It's it's just a pain. There's a subject to talk about is how they're all trying to take it over, and they got all these people out there, money miners, trying to get you to, well, you got problems. You got driver problems. You got to install this new driver, and you got to do this. And we can all do this stuff for you and fix everything for $200. Okay, $200 or 198, I think, is one quote was, to fix everything on my computer. And it was like, and it was people I couldn't hardly understand. I think this one I got in contact with was all Spanish on the phone, and they didn't sound Indian. They sounded like Spanish instead of Indian from India, and it was hard to understand them to begin with. And it wasn't like your typical, you want a sloppy like that, don't you? I mean, no, it wasn't like that. It was like Spanish. And I'm like going, this sounds like a scam. I hung up on them. They've been calling me up, and I just said, I've already redid my system. And they would say, okay, goodbye. I went to factory, but I haven't done the factory yet because I'm thinking I could find these programs in my computer and eliminate them and take out the bad parts of the uploads that happened on my computer. But it's really difficult. It's like going in the library and looking for the bad books and trying to take the bad books out. It's something to think about. And I don't know. I don't get as many people just showing up on here or anything anymore. I have no one to talk to. I think I had three people last night come in that I talked to. We're talking about the Ghost Light. Ghost Light's an interesting thing. We set the mini mag up until it just comes on. You ask questions and it lights up, and you talk to an entity. I mean, I've been watching all these ghost shows, and that seems to be one of their methods besides the K2 meter that they use to talk to people. And I'm always amazed when I talk to them. And I'd say that out loud. Anyways, Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there wants to come in on the show? Come on the show. It's an interesting talk. We can have lots of talk. There's all types of things to talk about. You know, questions and answers and everything else. And just an individual out here wanting to have a conversation about anything. We talk about gardening. We talk about dogs, cats. We can talk about anything. I'm open. It says open chat. It means exactly that, an open chat. That's why it's called the open chat, because it is actually open to anything you want to talk about. Still picking at the spider bite. Talk about spiders. Getting bitten by one, and you get that little thing you see, and that's why I knew it was a spider bite, because, well, I used to be in the Boy Scouts, and they had the Boy Scout manual book, and it's got a picture of what a spider bite looks like when you get one. And yeah, I got a scab left, and it's starting to itch, so it must be healing. I'm still scratching at it, and we can talk about that. We can talk about all types of subjects. Open chat line. Anyone wants to come in and talk about anything. Talk about supernatural, talk about religion, talk about spider bites, talk about gardening. It doesn't really matter. I have a plethora of knowledge. I know. And I know a lot of stuff. Talk about the UFOnauts and the cipher thereof. There is a cipher for UFOs, or at least the entities of thereof. And it all has to do with number. That's one of the things I've been reading lately. It's a cipher of the UFOnauts. Okay. Seems like it's going to be another night of one-sided talk on this show, because for some reason the people can't find my links, and I set my links up everywhere. I don't know where else to set them up. They don't give me much of a choice except my followers and stuff. I can't tap into my 200 and something followers on my Google Plus Spellbinder 00. I just can't get that to work either. I'm working on that one and trying to get those people in here from there. And I'm going to have to, okay, I'm going to try something here. YouTube. Where's my YouTube at for this? YouTube. But they don't give you that I'm on here now type thing on here, and I'm live now. You have no live events happening right now, so this will not appear on your channel. To create a live event, that means I have to open up in my Spellbinder account. I can't leave a message in my Spellbinder account to bring people here, which is kind of unusual. And if anyone has any, maybe it's my vlog or my playlist. I don't know, my top favorites, liked videos. No, favorites, my vlog. Let me see what my vlog does. Share. Okay, but there's nowhere. It just wants me to add a video. They don't have a place to add a comment. Okay, I'm back into that again. I can't seem to find a way to link one account I'm in now live to another account, and it's really freaky. There's no more shout outs. I mean, it used to be shout outs on there, or you could shout out and say, hey, I'm on this channel right now, come on. Well, that doesn't exist in YouTube anymore. And I have several hundred people on that particular shout out. And I don't know, it blows me away. I mean, how do I leave a message when they don't give you the option of leaving a message anymore? They've really screwed up the original. And original allowed you to do that on playlist favorites. Okay, let me look at favorites. Maybe it'll give me a shout out option on there. No, didn't work. Didn't work. I have nowhere to write a message on my account and shout out to my subscriptions. I go to my subscriptions, it just has my subscriptions. Okay, that's not going to work because I have nowhere to write in there anywhere. I don't know what to do. I can probably go to upload and go to broadcast, but I always have trouble here doing that because it will come up with, I don't know who, Hangout creation. And I'm going to try this and see if I can get in, because they're not letting me in on that one because I have too many followers. Okay, tell people what it's about. Okay, what's paste it and go to followers, VIPs, team members, all of us. Kill the public because they don't apparently like the public knowing about this. And see what happens. See if it lets me start it. Nah, it's not going to let me start it. It's going to sit there and say I have to have an XP Plus plugin, which this is Windows 7 and Mac OS X 10 plus, 10.5 plus in Linux. But it doesn't give me anything to put in there to say anything. I'm going to just put a link here in there. Open Talk. It should be in my Spellbinder. I'm going to put a link in there to here and see if that works. I mean, I'm having a lot of trouble getting a hold of my group from the other channel because the other channel doesn't want me on, which is weird. This is my cat channel. This is Jason Moy's channel. This is my other channel I created in case something happened on my other channel. I couldn't use it to upload videos. Well, I'm not trying to upload videos. It's supposedly linked in with Google Plus as well, and we're all supposed to be able to get in on Google Plus through YouTube. Well, it's not happening anymore. They've shut that down. They're just continuing shutting us down. If you like Viacom, well, you'll get right in on Viacom, you know, watching fruitless videos and movies and shows and stuff, because that's what they want now. They don't want us to have free speech What's free speech? It's a sin. It should be, it's almost like the bankster system, and that's what gets me about the bankster system. The banksters, they made this. It wasn't J.P. Morgan. There was another guy. I used to say it was J.P. Morgan that said that, but competition is a sin. So they don't want no sin. So they don't want no competition because they believe that competition is a sin. Therefore, that's what we're under. We're under a rule of the few over the many. Competition, my God, we can't have that. It should only be 5 corporations under the umbrella corporation. And that's what we got. The Industrial Corporation. We have the like Wally World Corporation. We got different corporations all under the same umbrella. They've all gathered together and decided we won't have competition. We'll just work together and rob the world of everything, wealth and minerals and everything. And that's what they've done, basically. That's what it turned out to be. I have no idea why they did this, except greed. Greed is the sin. It's not competition. It's greed. There's no capitalism left. It's anarchic capitalism or something. Commie capitalism. Well, basically, if you've done your homework, I hope a lot of you have, and you check back on the actual history, you'll find that corporations have taken over governments all across the world. They've just taken them over and saying, you now work for us. You tell your people what we want and what we're going to do. And that's what's going to happen. And it's global corporation. It's the umbrella. I mean, when I saw Resident Evil and they had the Umbrella Corporation, which is many corporations under an umbrella, I think they had 12 on the umbrella. That's basically what we're under. We're under a umbrella corporation that runs governments, runs the wars, and runs everything. And they work with the banksters. That's one of the corporations. And they run with the banksters, and they're robbing the world of everything. They're living like gods on Olympus, and we're the peasants beneath them. And a lot of people don't know this. They haven't woken up to the fact that we're being ran under a corporation of several corporations. And they might as well just come out and say the Umbrella Corporation, because that's what they are. I mean, you got Disneyland, ABC, CBS, NBC. I mean, all these corporations are under this umbrella, and they're all working to sit there and tell you what they want you to know. Not what you should know, but what they want you to know. And they've been doing this for many, many years. And that was a wake-up call for me, basically, when the first movie came out of Resident Evil. And, I never played the game, but it was basically under an umbrella of corporations working together. And they're all on together through your blue bloods or whatever. I've bought these corporations up and they're all working together. It's a fact. I mean, it's not hard to see that there is not a bunch of corporations out there, but just one corporation. I mean, even like the defense corporations like Boeing is under this umbrella. And they're all together. They're there. They're under it. Defense contracting and everything else. It's all under these corporations. And you wonder what, and Monsanto especially, that's another corporation, are out there, and you can't fight against Monsanto. There's a lot of suits keep being put against them But these politician judges and stuff keep getting paid off, and they go along with the corporation. Therefore, you still get glyphosate. You still get all this poison in your food. It's sterilizing your children. It's causing population reduction. It's not the ideal that they're not going to make. They got all the money. Okay. All right. They already got the money. It doesn't matter. They just want to reduce the population now. The Georgia Guidestones is a perfect example of wanting to reduce the population just down to 500 million. You know, keep enough people around to do our laundry and do our gardening and, you know, wipe our butts and everything when we need it. And that's basically all it comes down to. it comes down to they only need 500 million people on this planet. They don't need 7 billion. They just want 500 million. And these I don't know, maybe 100 families at the most are running the entire planet through the corporations under the umbrella. And they're all together and they're all sitting back playing this game. I think George Orwell said it best when he said that, you know, there's always a war somewhere, and we have to keep having wars, saying this is the enemy over here so they can have followers get up and go, yes, we hate this. We hate this person. And it was like whatever his name, Goldberg or whatever his name was, that they hated. And in his book, they wrote that he wanted freedom and prosperity, and all governments should trade amongst themselves. We should all be just trading amongst ourselves, not fighting them to take their stuff away by force. We should just trade and be a family on this planet. Well, they don't want a family. They want a feud. And that's what we've been under for many, many years. We've been under a feud. And it's continuing. Well, I've been talking for about probably an hour. I'm going to take a break here. So I'm going to put up my flag, if I can find it. There it is. I'll be right back. Hang on there. I'll be right back to say more. Alrighty then, I'm coming back in. Give me a moment here. I'm going to refill my cup of urination. Fill this back up so I can keep talking. I have to walk around. Heard the refrigerator door shut. Yes, there is all types of stuff going on that most people don't even know is going on. There's things that it can't be explained. There's things that can be explained, but unbelievable. I mean, if you have creatures in government saying that they're above the law, but you're not above the law, just they're above the law, then you have problems. Whenever a government starts saying they're above their own laws and they're not accountable, you know there's something wrong. So I'm back. Just need to turn the sign off. There we go. And I don't know. You tell me. Get on here and speak your mind. What do you think the government's up to? You think they're good? Think they're wonderful and we should just bow down and kiss their ass and, I don't know, that's about what we're doing now. I think maybe that's the way it should be. Maybe we should go back to kings and everything and have feudalism going on in the states and in the world. Every country should be a feudalist country and everyone lives on the property of the ones in charge. Maybe that's what we should do. I mean, it sounds about right because we're not standing up against them right now by protesting big time. I mean, to a point where they're so afraid they either leave or they attack. And if they attack, well, it's revolution. And maybe it's time for another revolution. We don't want that. We want to actually make them go away. We just want them to go away. Send them to a country where they can be their dictator or whatever. I mean, right now we have almost a dictatorship in the U.S. It's real close to it. And it's not too far away. You know, it may get to a point where Obama says, I don't want to step down. My narcissism and my, hubris is so great, I don't have to step down. I am your God, and you must worship at me. Well, that can happen too. Or it's part of a organization under the umbrella corporation where they're going to actually have somebody come in and actually state that. And they'll have so much power. I mean, look, 600 billion bullets is a lot of bullets for a government to be buying up over the last few years and want to use them on something. And I don't think it's on zombies or anything. I think it's on us. And it's going to be us. We're going to be the ones. And it's just a matter of time before they just actually come out and say it's martial law and start collecting people up to go to FEMA camps and then execute them in the camps. Put them in body bags in the dozens and bury them and reduce the population down to the Georgia Guidestones of 500 million people. It's just a matter of time. We've let this go on so long. I mean, as soon as the Guidestones came out, people should have been on a riot at that time towards the government. There should have been 1 billion people. I mean, no, we can't have 1 billion here. We only have 370 million. And that's the illegals also in there. So 70 million, probably even more, probably 400 million after they allow the illegals in. But the illegals have lived in a socialist state so long that they'll go along with this government that's giving away freebies to them. If they're getting to ride it free, I mean, there's been stories out there talking about the Medicare system, or not the Medicare, but the Obamacare, where Obamacare is giving them free medical, but yet you have to put money in for your Medicare or your Obamacare. That's just unreal. These people have no state right. They weren't born here. If they were born here, yeah, maybe they have the right, but they haven't been born here. They've been brought up here in a bunch, and they're given free everything. Everything you can imagine that's can be given to them is free. You go and try to get the same thing being a citizen born here, and even if you're not working and you're not getting it, if you're even working here and you're actually contributing to this government that we have, you don't get it. You don't get nothing. You have nothing. You're like, I have nothing. And they look at you like that, and it's like we're the new American Indian. Where we are. They've turned the American people into the new American Indian under the invasion that's coming from foreign entities. And these foreign entities are other major countries like Britain and Europe that are coming in. And now we, the American people, are the new Indians. They'll be putting us on reserves as well, as we did with the American Indian. I'm 1/8 Cherokee, and I can understand that because I did an extensive review of the history of what they did to the Indians. And I see the same pattern happening right now. It's history repeating itself. We're becoming the new Indian of America. And next thing you know is they'll just gather you up and put you on a reservation, give you some blankets with a bioweapon on it, and there you go. You're on the other world. Yeah, it's bad. It really is. I don't understand how we allowed us to get in the same state that our forefathers made a mistake doing. And that's killing off the American Indians. These people were no more different than us. They had a better belief. They almost like the Hindu belief and stuff. There's Mother Earth and Father Sky, and that was the only difference they had. Well, Father Sky would be like our God or whatever, Father Sky, and Mother Earth. Well, Mother Earth gave birth to corn and wheat and anything else they were eating off of, and it's might as well be like George Carlin saying, if I wanted to worship something, I'd worship the sun, because I know the sun's going to come up, and every day it's going to give me warmth. It's going to make the plants grow. It's going to be everything like that. I kind of agree with George Carlin on his philosophy of that nature. He even got to a point where, what's his name? Was it Robert or something? Bob Pesco. He said, I would worship him than the God that the Christian church worships, because he's real. I can see him, and he's walking, and Pesco, whatever his name was, and everything revolves around the earth, the universe. I look up at my modem, and see, I look at my modem, and it's flashing loud as hell. It's saying, look, I'm working. And I look at the one on top, which is my provider's box, and it's flashing out of hell. How am I having difficulties in my my thing? They're just giving warnings out and stuff, saying, hey, you're getting on a subject that's sensitive. Stop it. No, you stop it. It's up to you to stop what you're doing. Greedy little bastards out there anyways. I mean, We're the good guys. We're the small people that live here on this earth. We just have a handful, maybe a couple of dozen people running the whole thing and using, oh yeah, that's another one, MSM, mainstream media, is another umbrella part of the corporation. And they're under the umbrella, and they're trying to convince you that this is what's happening and this is what's happening. And then when you find people from other countries who are getting news from different areas, not actually connected to the troubled areas, and they're getting a different story, and they come and say, look, this isn't happening. This came from this source, and this source is in Europe. This source is in Europe, and this, they're saying, no, this isn't happening. Iran didn't send a bunch of warships filled with nuclear, or whatever, munitions and everything for ISIS. No, they can't carry that amount. They did bring cargo ships, though, that was reported, that was unloading supplies of food and water, and they were doing something totally different than the mainstream media here is talking about. They're trying to convince you to get ready for this war we're going to create, World War III. We got to have World War III, and it's already in the progress. They're already in progress of creating World War III, and a lot of people just don't know we're on the verge of World War III, and they're picking a war. I don't know how our government can suffice with it, because it's only going to have to go nuclear, because we don't have any more money for troops or anything else. We spread ourselves out over 128 countries and put bases there, and our boys at home and girls and whatever is out there. They're not here to protect this country. So I don't know how they think they can win a nuclear war between two major superpowers equal to our own, called China and Russia, and survive it. There's no way. They can't. They have to buddy up to one of these superpowers, or take two superpowers to buddy up against to defeat the one that's going to attack. But they're not doing it. The U.S. has actually spread us out like Rome and the empire, and that's how Rome fell. They spread themselves out too thin over a large area, and they just don't got the power now, except the nuclear power. And if they go to nuclear, I'm telling you, China and Russia has been coming out, and Europe and other sources, they have the whoop-de-doos. That's why I call them the whoop-de-doos. They're not the ICBM that goes straight up, goes over a target, pops off a couple of nukes, and blow up an area. Oh no, these people are almost like cruise missiles is what China and Russia has. And these things can fly below radar. So you wouldn't even see them coming when they're coming over. And they have a payload bay that opens up and just drops nukes over whatever city they want to hit. And I think because they're playing by a script. They took Revelations and said, look, America's not even mentioned in Revelations. So it's going to go between the Middle East and Russia. And China's not really mentioned in there. There's no express word for dragon or anything in Revelations, unless, it's literally, Satan, the dragon, is China. And they're going to have this great nuclear war, wipe out 90% of the population, and whatever's less is going to be a slave to whoever went to the bunkers underground and escaped it. That's what I see coming. I mean, that's really, if you just look at Revelation, it sounds like, because of all these stories of people who worked on these projects, built these underground bunkers or a half-mile down underground, and they're cities, basically. They have commissaries, they got all types of living spaces, and it's just going to be for the elitist. Well, once these people get through killing 90% of them off, they may just come back up and see who's going to be the, like in Highlander, only one can survive, one group, and have it out again and wipe everyone off the earth except for one group, whoever survives. And who knows if they'll survive. They may pollute the planet so badly with nuclear radiation that they won't even survive. They may be what they call the P-40s. Now, this is like 40,000 years they have to stay underground because of the plutonium and everything. And they rise up, and maybe the grays, as they call them, the little gray guys with the big eyes, are really us from the future. And they've come back in time and are here manipulating, come back to harvest genetic material to keep themselves alive, because they screwed the planet up so bad in the future that they had to come back and collect genetic material to interbreed and intercross their species to revive it. And that was a theory that came out several years ago, 25, 30 years ago, that the grays are actually us 40,000 years in the future. After that's how long they had to stay underground. That's why their eyes got so big and their heads got bigger, because they got more knowledgeable, and their bodies shrank up into little people bodies, and they're only about 3 to 4 feet tall. I mean, that was a theory that came out. I almost think that's probably it. The P-40s are the human race after this great nuclear war. They survived it, but at a cost, because they had to stay underground that long. And that's why their eyes are so big, because they had to adapt to the darkness of being underground. And they had to live underground until the radiation got to a level where they could come back up to the surface, even if that's possible there, because, well, plutonium's out there. It has a 4 million year cycle on it. That's a long time. That's what we're facing with Fukushima. The plutonium that came out of those reactors has about 4 million year life half cycle of radiation, and they were going to have to. I know it's a sick joke that's going on. They have no way of neutralizing this radiation, and it's pouring into the Pacific. And even in Revelations, 1/3 of the ocean life dies. Well, 1/3 would be the Pacific Ocean. That would take out everything in the ocean in the Pacific. In other words, don't eat salmon except once in a while. You see how they did that? They kicked me right off. They did. They actually kicked me off. I was talking about a taboo. You're not supposed to talk about taboos. We are the gods. You can't do this. We run the Matrix. Well, it's about time somebody brings the Matrix down or takes you out one day. How do you like that, you squirrely little bastards that's running all this? Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Huh. I thought it was the same person. Oh well. Yeah, they just kicked me off the internet and I got brought back on. I was talking taboo. You know how it is. You can't talk taboo. They can't tell me my connectivity is bad. You're going to have to check it. I'm looking up there and that damn thing's blinking faster than the speed of light, and they're telling me my connectivity is bad. Oh, really? Really? I'm going to do a cow to you. Really? Okay. See how that works. See how they work. They work behind the lines because they're occult organizations. They have the cipher of the euphonauts, and they think they're superior gods of the universe. I'm sorry to tell you, the cipher of the euphonauts is not anything that you should be thinking superior of. It's just a communication device to the other people, the P40s probably, the little gray people with big eyes. Yeah, that's it's all about. That's what they're doing. They're just playing these games, and the games continue to be played. I'm always fascinated by the games. I mean, I wish you could get on here, but apparently you can't. They're not allowing me to have an audience at all. They're just playing these awesome games. And I can't talk to anybody on here. It really doesn't. I mean, I put the link up on Open Talk twice, and I'm not getting anything. I can't get Secular Revenge on here. That's pretty sad. When I really like to have him on here as part of this, if he understood. I mean, just get on here and turn on and talk. Or anyone in the chat line. Nada. It's interesting because this stuff is all happening right now. I mean, this is current events. Current events. What's going on right now? Right before your eyes, under mainstream media and everything. They're sitting there trying to tell you this is what's happening and this is what's happening. Believe us. We are the media. The government doing the same thing. We're the government. You've got to believe the government, whatever it says. If we tell you the sky is black and never blue, you will believe that. If you believe the moon is made out of cheese and we said so, you will believe that. And that's what they've been doing. They've been playing this stupid game, mind games. It's amazing how they got away with it. And it's just because people will believe what's been told to them and go out and do their own research. It's better to go out and do your own research than to believe blindly of what somebody on a talking head says on the TV. That's what they are, talking heads. I think it was Max Headroom that first came up with the concept of talking head, because he was a computer-generated, person that was back in, what was that, in the 80s and late 70s, and it was Max Headroom, and it was just a head. And that's where the term talking head came from, because you get on the news channels and that's all you see is a head. You see the shoulders and the head, and that's the talking head. They're all talking heads, and they're lying to everyone. They're very good at it too. I've never seen one better at it than they are. They're talking heads. Man. I wonder why I like the group Talking Heads, because they actually knew what that meant. and they just called their group the Talking Heads, and it was based on Max Headroom, who came out with a show. Like I said, it was an animated head of a person with blonde hair, and he would get on there and talk on TV. And where that term came from. A lot of people didn't know that, where the Talking Heads came from. It's basically based on a show. Was it in late 70s, early 80s? Or was it about the 90s? He lasted a few years. He was on. And it just be this animated head. It looked realish because they were testing out these new graphics. And he would talk and have a talk show. It was a talk show is what it was. But then when it got to the end of it, I mean, the band Talking Heads came out, and that's where he got. And that's why a lot of the conspiratists who know that there's conspiracy going on say the mainstream media talking heads are being paid off. They're getting paid millions of dollars to lie to you. They're being paid $1 million a year at least to lie to you. They will just tell you and look sincere and everything. I mean, they're good liars. They're like Obama. Makes Obama. I mean, some of these talking heads make Obama look bad because Obama has a prompter also, and he's reading off this prompter, but he's very able to read the prompter, put emotions into his speech and everything he says, and make you believe what he's saying. Well, I don't believe anything since before he was put in the presidency, because I could see right through him. He was a snake. He was one of Thomas Jefferson's snakes. I mean, he was a serpent, and he had that serpent tongue, as they call it, the silver tongue or whatever, and you could see that. And stuff he was saying, I didn't believe a word. That's why I voted for Ron Paul. Ron Paul didn't use prompters. He may have stuttered a few times, which makes him realistic. And, he was basically what we should have had. We should have had Ron Paul in there. I believe that people at one time, well, I heard this from Mike Rivero, that we should actually find a person who could do the job, who doesn't want to be the president, and put him in office and say, if you do a good job, you can leave after 4 years. If you don't do a good job, we're going to keep you in there for another 4 years just for torture. And I think that should have been what was used. I mean, I heard that and I was like, I like Mike Rivero. And he's a talk show host on what really happened in Hawaii. He's right down there by Pearl Harbor. He said he could see it from his window. He can say, I can look out my window and see Pearl Harbor right there. And he's afraid because if this conflicts that they're having in the Ukraine and with Russia escalate, he has a front seat to the first nuclear detonation in Pearl Harbor, because that's what they're going to hit. They're going to hit Pearl Harbor. It seems to have like 5 or 6 bases on those islands. And they're all going to get hit. He wants to, he's got a grab bag escape plan, but he has to hopefully get notified before the first strike hits, because they're going to hit Pearl Harbor, because once they take out Pearl Harbor, well, the entire Pacific is going to be open for China to bring their ships out. And China and Russia right now are in nice communique. They're trading amongst themselves. They're not fighting. China and Russia are actually doing what we should be doing. Instead of going out there and making war across the planet for Israel, they should be out there trading with the world, trading everything, build our manufacturing back up, bring everything back to the U.S. and make it happen. Take the taxes that they were charging these companies, that they go over to China and they pay third of what they're going to pay if they're here. Or take that down to the same level and say, well, come back. You only get to pay a third. And they'll all come back, and there'll be buku amount of factory jobs for everyone. And everything will go back to normal. But no, they don't want that. They want to go out and conquer the world. And it's for that country over there. The country apparently our politicians worships and have knee pads for. It's called Netanyahu. They all got knee pads. It says Netanyahu on them. And they go over there and they get anointed by Netanyahu, and they come back, and when they run the election, if they were the best service him, they could become president. And that's what it really seems to be. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, why is it that all these politicians go to Israel, and when they come back, they all feel powerful and like they're going to be president? But it's only a last word of somebody over there when the elections are going, saying, pick that one. And it becomes president. But they all go over there and they worship Israel. Well, Israel isn't God. Israel's in the temple. And the temple is not the wall. The wall, that's a Roman wall. You have to understand the Wailing Wall, that's an ancient Roman wall. When the Romans were running the Jews and torturing them, killing them. And they go up there and kiss that wall and everything. And it's like, really? And they bang their heads against it. You know what that is? They're screwing the wall because they think it is a woman. Fact. Do your research. I mention this only because a lot of people doesn't know that. They don't know that the Wailing Wall is a female to these Jews, like they call themselves. And most of them are not even real Jews. They're actually Khazarians from up in the Ukraine that came down after World War II when they were under Hitler's suppression. And they came down because they were converted Jews 200 and something years before World War II. And they wanted, there was a kingdom there called the Khazarians, and they wanted to have trade between the Muslims and the Christians. And they found that the Jews were the only one, the Jewish Judaism or Judea religion belief was the only way to put the two together. They could bring the two forces together and they could trade amongst them. And they became the most powerful country in the world until World War II, and they lost everything. And everything went away when World War II happened. And they lost it. I think it started in World War I, but it really got bad in World War II. And everything went away that they had. And the next thing you know is they're the chosen people of the universe. And I'm telling you, if you look at a lot of the Jewish people in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, these people are whiter than a piece of paper. They look like Netanyahu. Now, you want to tell me that Netanyahu is a true Jew? I fear to differ. Go out and look at the Palestinians. That's the true Jews. Those true Semitic people. These people were converted to Semiticism. So if you're telling me, if I go and convert to Judaism, I'm a Semitic then? I can be equal with them? I don't think so, because the Palestinians aren't. And they're the ones that's been living there over 2,000 years, since Christ's days. And most of those people are uncles and nephews and cousins and everything of Jesus Christ, of his family, of his kingdom, of you know, his royal background. And I don't know. It's very strange when you actually do your homework and look it all up. You start finding out that, wow, we got a bunch of fake Jews down there in Jerusalem running it. Netanyahu, the biggest one, claims to be the biggest rabbi of them all. And he's not even a rabbi, but he looks at himself as something of super holy. He looks at himself as Christ, I think. And he's not. He's a Khazarian. He came from Ukraine, from that area. And people don't realize that. They don't do their homework. They just listen to whatever the talking heads tell them on the TV and what they tell you in school or in Bible school even. A lot of these churches are really corrupted. I mean, there's these guys that are preachers and ministers on TV, TV ministries that just bow down and have knee pads ready to go to Israel and service. I mean, really, they really do. They have no idea what they're doing. They have been told when they're a child to believe this way, and then when their child's born and wants to become a minister, they teach that, and they bring people in that they have already brainwashed through the religious tempering and everything, that you give us 10% of your money and you'll go to heaven and all this stuff. And it's like, no, the tether was not meant to be a bribe to God to go to heaven. I'm just sorry, that doesn't happen. You can't bribe yourself into heaven, no matter what. It's like the Catholics when they're bringing in the mafia in Italy, and the mafia comes in there and says, I've killed 15 people last week and I need to be forgiven. Or just say 10 Hail Marys and you're forgiven. Don't forget to come and give your teller your money to the church next Sunday. and that's why the church had so much power. They had blackmail material over most of these people. When you go in and you tell somebody something and you're thinking, well, this is in good regard, that I can tell this person what they're doing, and they can come back the next week and get forgiven again. And as long as they give out that money, oh my God, you give that money to them and God will forgive you, because this money is God. That's what it comes down to. The money is God, and it's not God within, it's God in the money. It reminds me of what was it called? Oh God or something. It had Marty Feldman in it, and this guy was going to his room and there would be a big giant dollar bill on the wall and he was worshiping to it. Worshiping to the dollar bill. It was the God that this minister believed in. Oh God, I think it's what was called. Like I said, Marty Feldman in it, and another guy, I can't think of his name. But this is the type of stuff that we're under, and a lot of people don't see the illusion of what's going on. I mean, even Hollywood will give you hints. It's almost, and I've heard this several times, a lot of times before they do something or talk about something that's true light, they'll come out and tell you, just out blankly tell you, but it goes over your head. It goes whoosh over your head. You don't even think about what they're saying, actually, because you've been so manipulated and so controlled that you don't see what's really going on. You don't see what they're telling you. And they come out and do this stuff all the time. You gotta have a catching ear and catch when they're saying it. Know what real scripture is and catch it when they say it. You're sitting there going, did he just say what I think he said? And that's what happens. It's an amazing thing, that you're being manipulated and talked about or talked down to and everything, as if, a lot of times they just go over your head. But if you're wise and everything, you gotta be wise. I mean, I'm actually saying occultism should be taught to everyone. It should be taught because it has the manipulative power in it. And if everyone knows the secret of the cipher and how they manipulate people's minds with words, you won't be fooled. You can't be fooled because you already know what they're saying and the meaning of it. The words, I can't remember which person said that, but it wasn't a politician. I think it was a congressman or something. It says the words you hear, I think it was one of the forefathers, it says the words that you hear, that you think when you look in your Webster dictionary are not the same definition they have of those words. Those words are ciphered. They mean totally different, and they tell it to you, and you just go, yay, I like that sound of that. And then you find out later on that something else was afoot. And yeah, you really got to do your homework. It's a lot of people that's got to do homework on linguistics and ciphers and other things that are out there. Now, ciphers is numbers, and you can figure out what they're talking about through number. This was an Aleister Crowley thing. It was a theocracy, Blavatsky. This was Adam Dembski. These different people figured out the cipher, and everything is number. Now, what it means by number is that everything is a number. It has a number, and it has something else spelt differently that equals to the same number. So therefore, that meaning can be transferred to that meaning. And you've got different meanings of number. And I mean, it was like the UFO flaps. They always had these aliens with these really funny, really ridiculous sounding names. But if you did the numerology on them and they came up to this number, on other words had similar numbers, actually the same number. And it was basically, this is saying this, but it actually means this. And that was a simple understanding of the cipher, or the euphonauts. And they called it cipher and euphonauts because always all these people like Blavatsky and her Helen Blavatsky, she would have these names of these masters, he called them, the ascending masters. And they would have these weird names. But if you went through numerology and you found another word, that's probably a word that's related to the true meaning of that name. And you could find these different meanings across the page. I mean, one of the books I would suggest for starting on this is Aleister Crowley's. I mean, you may think he's the most evilest man in the universe. No, he was just an occultist. He just got glory off of being called that. And he just felt good. He had a book called 777. And in that book, it gives you several hundred numerological definitions of words. And you could start there and find one word that you're hearing, look up a word similar to the counting of that word, and you can get a cipher out of it, a definition. And this is what they used to do. They used to have masters that would come up. They called themselves the masters, I don't know, blue bloods or whatever. And they would come up with a name, take their name, an actual name, and look up a lettering that was numerologically equal to their name. Say their name was 123. Well, they could come up with another name that equals the same thing, and it was a cipher. It was, you're able to use that for people in the know to go backwards and go, that's Sir what's his name, or King what's his name, and you could go back from that word that they put out there as the master. And I don't know, it's an interesting study. The Cipher of the Euphronaut is out there. I mean, it's a book that's out there. It's by Greenfield? I think that's what it's called. I can't remember his name. It's William or what? William Greenfield. But he actually breaks down the ciphers and says, this is a cipher they were using. There was a guy in the 1970s who made a computer program. This is what got really interested in. He made a program. I've been trying to find it on the internet, and it probably doesn't work because it's probably based on Windows 93, and it won't work on anything above that. And it was a cipher where you could actually put in words. It would create a cipher, and then you'd put in another words that you wanted to see the cipher matched, and go from there. And it actually had I think it had a base on it of several thousand words that he put into the program. And the program, would you put in a word, and it'd give you another word that's equal in numerology to that word, and you could start figuring out things. And because a lot of it was very, very bizarre. You'd put in a guy's name, he would come up with a cipher mathematics of another word that equaled that one's equals to that one, and it would say Adamai or God who is real or something of that nature, and you'd be able to get all this out of it. It's very, very interesting. You don't really have to be a mathematician to do this stuff. It's basically adding the letters up. The letters do have a key you have to have, that each letter has a certain number to it. In numerology, you could probably just use that key, which A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and you start building up a name. You get that, then you find another name that has the same outcome, and that becomes your new name, your cipher name, your secret name, and you can use that so nobody knows who you are. That was part of the key. The key to the Euphonauts. That's what this book is called, The Cipher of the Euphonauts. And they're saying these people like Adam Adamski, I think his name was communicating with aliens. And they would give him these names, but there was a cipher behind those names. And they could find out what they meant by going through the cipher. And a lot of them knew these ciphers. They were studying them and come up with new names. So the aliens actually talk in a cipher. This may be part of the ideal that aliens actually talk in bird. Let's say it, bird. They either crack like a like a sparrow or something, or crow, and they talk in like a bird language. They don't talk in our language. They don't have a readable language. It's more of squawks and squeaks and whatever else. And that's how aliens communicate. Because they're virtually birds or reptilian, and they evolved to a point of speaking bird, maybe. I don't know, but they speak, many of them. Remember a guy who actually has a video on YouTube. It's not the one I saw. I saw the perfect one, where he ran into this black alien with glowing eyes in the woods. After it killed his dog, he picked up a stick and slammed it in the head. It fell down, and he's in such a panic. He doesn't know what to do because he's seen something he'd never seen in his life, and he sees the ship in the background, and it's like I don't know, it's long like an arrowhead, pointy and stuff. And he goes up to it, and he starts to, as he gets closer with his video camera, it starts to scramble out and stuff because it's causing interference with the field around it. But as soon as he touched it, the field went away, and he was getting a perfect picture of it. He decided to leave the ship behind, but he didn't know what to do with that. Guy's pickup truck put this alien, wrapped it up in this thermal blanket. It's like a silver, it's like a silver aluminum like substance, and put it in the truck, took it back home, then decided he was a doctor. He was a doctor, I think, of psychology, but he had some medical knowledge. And so he started treating this thing and checking it out, doing video of it and everything. And at the time he was doing the video, he didn't realize the eyes were blinking, but you can see it in the video clearly that it was blinking its eyes. It had a concussion basically, but it was aware and awake. And apparently he decided, well, I don't know what to do with this right now. I can't get a hold of my friend to come over here and take a look at it. So he wrapped it back up in the thermal blanket and stuck it in this freezer. He had one of those long, long freezers that you stick your food in. And he got it in the freezer and stuff and left it in there. And then he decided later on, after he got over his shock of what he just discovered and injured, he decided to put it back out and do another examination of it. Well, while he was examining it and stuff again, it animated on him again. It went live on him, and it woke up. It actually woke up and started walking around. He kept it for a long time. He said he had like 2 weeks or something of it while it was healing itself, because he said the wound on his head was healing rapidly and it was getting better faster. He thought he killed the damn thing, but he didn't. And so he took recordings of conversations with it, and he was doing something like, "This is water. You want some water? Here's water. I got you some water." And it's sitting there going, and it was like a bird. It sounded like different types of bird. It sounded like I don't know, a cockatoo at one point, and then it started sounding like a sparrow, and it had different sounds, bird sounds mixed together. And it was speaking to him, but he said I couldn't understand it. And there's a video on YouTube of this, and just alien caught by somebody. How should I do it? I found it by just putting an alien caught by doctor, I think, and it came up. It actually came up, and there it was. It was the video I saw, but it was a copy of the video, so the graphics aren't as good as it was in the one I've originally saw. I actually saw one. It was really good, really detailed. It was like the original. He said that was taken from his house and everything. The government came along and knew about these aliens and came along and took the stuff from his house. But there were copies made off of YouTube and was kept. I did have a copy of it, but I don't think I do anymore, of the alien encounter, because my drive crashed on me. That's why I moved stuff off my main drive I'm using right now onto separate drives that I can disconnect, so I can preserve this information, because that sucked when I lost it. It really did. It sucked losing I had a good copy of it. It didn't have any pixelation happening in it at times, and it was a good copy of it. But it went away. It got picked up and taken off, and he's been out there ever since trying to tell people, hey, I had this encounter. It really happened, and you gotta believe me that it really happened, because there is the video, copies of the video out there that people took, but they just weren't that great when they got their copy. They made copies of the copy. There was a copy of a copy or something, and it really wasn't that great. But I seen one that was crystal clear. This thing was a real alien. I mean, it was something that if I had seen it, it would freak me out too. I mean, it's pitch black, and it's like its head's kind of like a gray's, except it has a extended back head. It had a little extended, not much, and its eyes were like gold coins reflecting in the light. I mean, it was just awesome. And I saw that, and I went, wow, I believe him. I actually believe him, because it blinked its eyes while I was videotaping it. And he had it on regular videotape, VHS. This is the time when this happened. This is before they had digital cameras and DVD cameras and stuff of that nature. it was just VHS, and he was filming it and checking it out. He was doing that. He actually bandaged his head up and stuff in the video and stuff. You can see him, he's trying to work on him, and he's trying to, he realizes that it's conscious. At one point, he realized it was conscious and said, "Oh, well, you're conscious. Okay, all right, help it out, man." Because he felt bad that killed. It was bad that it killed his dog. He was very sad about that. He said he had this retriever for years, and it just happened to pick up on the smell of this alien and then ran after it and jumped it as if it was the enemy. And well, this creature just did something. He had a wristband. He has the wristband, and it's a wristband. He says, I can put this on and I can teleport. This thing gives me the power to teleport. And he actually did a video of that too, where he actually teleported in front of the camera on YouTube. I was like, well, I gotta see this. And he actually teleported, and he turned into a light, and then it started turning into a glob, and then the glob just kind of disappeared and then came back. Because he teleported off somewhere and then came right back to where he was. And it was in this band, and it had buttons on it. It had little buttons, and it had symbols on it. And I don't know, I'm willing to believe, just on a faith belief, that, yeah, he probably did have this encounter. He has a wristband, the teleport band. And he said he puts this thing on, it has little needles, like in the bottom part of it. And when he puts it on, it squeezes in on his wrist, and then it pokes these needles in, and they tap into his nerves. And it gives him the ability to teleport, which I thought that was kind of neat. It's kind of like, okay, I can see how that works. It says that's kind of painful when you put it on, because I put these little needles. They're real small, maybe an eighth of an inch or something like that. And they were just squeezing in and tap into his nervous system on his wrist. That's that story. Now, if anyone going to come on here, or I'm going to be just babbling away about different subjects, it'd be nice to have somebody that wants to talk about a subject. Really. I can put it in the chat. That's no problem. Oh, no, you don't. Quit that. Oh, no. What did it do? Okay, it did that. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat. And I should be able to post it. There it is. It's posting. God, I couldn't get that to do that at all last night. It just wouldn't enter chat message. Okay. You're on the air. I know you're already here. You just have to turn your camera on and your mic on. But I put the post up there. If you want to give this to somebody else that you know, it's in the group chat, and bring somebody else on. I apparently can't get anyone to come on here. I figured as early as I started this, I'd at least get somebody on here for an hour, half hour, 30 minutes. Yeah, I try to get people on here all the time. I don't know where TJ is. I sent him a personal link, and apparently he's doing something else and didn't know I was on here. He usually doesn't come on until after 12 or so. He's a late night. He's a night owl. So I usually don't get TJ on here early. Every once in a while, I'll try to get people on here, send them a link and say, come on, let's talk. You have anything to say? Have anything to comment? Want to talk about my ghost light? That's a big one. I've been doing ghost lights lately. because I've been watching all these ghost shows, like Ghost Asylum and Ghost something caught on video or caught on camera, and doing stuff like that. And I was like, I'll give it a try, and I was getting results. I was getting results. I've got a couple of spirits. And they're sticking around. I got rid of 16 others, sent them through the vortex and said, go home, and got them out of here. There's too many spirits around there. I started seeing these orbs and everything all the time, and I started getting, well, I'm going to have to get in contact with them and open the vortex up to otherworld and let them pass on. There, I had a whole crew in here at one point. Now I only got 2 I know of. I only had 1, and she must have went out and found another one and brought it in. And she probably wants me to send that little girl through the vortex and send her on her way. And that's why she brought her in. And I haven't done it. So this is one of those things where, okay, I haven't done my job yet. It's not my light. What the hell is this? Oh, I know what this is. These are resistors. She wrote me up this for my own world. And set me on my way. All right. And set me on my way. I gotta worry about that. I'm usually gonna have a reference to certain resistors. Trying to get people on here. It's really hard to get people on this time of night. I figure this is early enough for most people. I'm on the East Coast. And then if you go west, it's about, well, 9, 8, 7 o'clock on the West Coast. About 7 hours ago on the West Coast. But I don't know. I try, and I just don't seem to get an audience like I used to. See how many cookies I got. 18 cookies. No, I don't. Get rid of those cookies. Things are killer cookies. All right. Anyone wants to join in on a conversation, have a conversation, come on in. Come on in. You're the next contestant on The Price is Wrong. Anyway. Somebody's got to be able to get in on here. It's live. It's open. I'm not blocking it or anything. It's open lines. I don't understand it. I said, I just get so many people on here that talk. Now everyone just wants to listen. And I can only babble so long. I need an audience or people on here to communicate with. I can always do something, I guess. I can turn the ghost light on. Talk to, at least I'll have a conversation with somebody, which I'm not getting a conversation with. Just nobody right now. And I don't know. All you have to do is turn your camera Or if you have mini cams, put your icon up and work with it. Okay. I've got nothing. I've got nobody on here, so I might as well. Okay. I changed over to my light, which is mini mag, and I got it turned on. And I'm going to ask if there's any entity here right now that wants to speak. Please turn the light on now. You can do it. I know you're here somewhere. You're always around me. Somewhere. If I start feeling cold, I know you're here. But you can turn the light on if you want to. Just give it a little tap. Just go tap. Give it a tap. Come on. Turn the light on. You got the power. There's enough here to power you up. Hmm? Hmm. Spirits are silent tonight, it seems. Otherwise, they would turn the light on already. Just turn the light on. Light her up. Come on. Turn the light on. Oh, please. I had to unmute my microphone. It got muted for some reason. Okay, turn the light on. Light her up. Turn it on again. Prove you're here. Don't be shy. Or walk away. Ish. You turn the light on. And talk to the audience. I'm going to stand here for a minute. Let you turn it on. Turn on the light. You can do it. It's starting to get chilly in here. Must be draining energy to turn that light on. Turn on. Light it up, please. Please light the light up now. Please. Please. 24. 10. Usually they're pretty responsive. Sometimes they get sluggish like this. I don't run into sluggish ghosts very often, but normally they're just able to just turn that light on command, and it's like, you want to talk, right? Want to say, you want to have a discussion? Turn the light on. See, since I'm not having a discussion out there on the internet, I'm trying to get a discussion here over ghosts. Someone knows that there you are. You can turn it off anytime. Now would be nice. Just shut it off like a switch. There you go. All right. There you are. The ghost light. I'm not touching it. I'm actually standing about 4 feet away from it. And it's coming on and off as usual. Come back on. Spark up. Spark up the light. Hi, kitty. Do you see the ghost? I need you to know where the ghost is. You're supposed to be my ghost watcher. What are you watching? Are you seeing the ghost? No? Let's see, looking around. My cat's looking around. I don't know if it sees anything or not. She keeps looking to her left. Looks like she just got through drinking or eating food. She does that a lot. Getting fat. And I'm getting her naturals. Like Karina. Okay. If the ghost is here, turn the light on. Just pop it on. Let everyone see the light. Let them see the light. Let us all see the light. May we? If you're here. This is 24. 20, I call her 24 because that's the only thing I got out of her so far is really her age. She's 24 years old and she's a ghost. Turn the light on. There you go. And that's pretty good. You're responsive. So you like hanging around here? You found this a cozy place to hang out? I know you travel in and out. You even brought a friend with you. Is your friend here? If your friend's here, light the light up. I know you went out and found friends after I sent 16 other ones through the door. I meant to send you through the door, but you didn't go. You were hesitant. I don't know why you did that. I guess you just like my company. Is that what it is? You just like my company? Like to be around me or something? You can turn the light on and respond. Okay. You're not responding again. Why are you so hesitant? Just turn the light on and be here. I like to have company. I kind of like your company. If you want to, run over and touch the light and turn it on. Sometimes they touch the light, turn it on, then they run off, and then they come back. I've noticed that effect. Turn the light on. Just turn on now, please. Gotta be nice to these ghosts, because if they're benevolent, you don't want them to be gun shy. A lot of them will get gun shy. They're nice, and they like the word means. It's like there's certain dogs out there, you know, you shoot a gun off and they run off like whimpering and stuff, and they're not supposedly good hunting dogs. Huh? What do I do? You gonna come up here, cat? Meow. Well, if you're gonna come up here, you're gonna have to keep going. I can't have you up here. Well, I'm filming. I'm gonna have to sit back down in that chair eventually, but I don't want you to go to sleep in this chair because I don't want you to go up there. Go up there. Go. 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 Go up. Meow. You like my cat? 24? Is my cat nice? You want to pet my cat? You want my cat to see you? Gun shy again. I mean, usually I get instant responses on here. Not in a very talkative mood tonight. I'm not really sure. Turn the flashlight on, please. Turn on. I know you can. Just touch it. Give it energy. Make it light. No? Well, that's interesting. I have a ghostless night. That's interesting. Just in itself, having a ghostless night. Okay, there it is. Turned on now. Okay, if you're here, turn off the light. Just turn it off now, completely. Thank you. There it is. There's kind of well, you're gonna get up here. You're gonna let me sit back down. Come on, kitty. You're going to let me sit down. I don't want you to fall down or anything, but hey, you're gonna have to move. Oh, there you go. Got off my chair. Doesn't matter. Well, that's the Ghost Mag. It does work most of the time. Works sometimes. I get rapid responses. You know, I say turn on, and on it goes. Turn on, please. No. Okay. Well, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm not getting any response out of the ghost. She was here for a second and said hello, and that was about it. And she wasn't really in the mood, I guess, to really talk. Put my camera back up top of my screen. It's actually hot. I don't know why these cameras get hot. I haven't figured that one out yet. They get hot. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. No. Why am I having delayed reactions on here? That I'm not understanding. Looking for my acceleration. It doesn't seem to be wanting to pop up. I need to lower my baud rate down or something. Everything's in delay. Delayed responses here. Don't know why I'm having delayed responses. Am I echoing out there or something? Am I echoing? Somebody tell me? No? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Not many results here. Uh, I don't know what to say for you. Hmm. 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 Montauk Revisited. There's a subject I haven't talked about in a while. What I got in here? Got everything except what I want. Okay. Interesting enough. It should be book 2. And it should have the the Montauk Project, Catacombs of Montauk, Hauntings at Montauk, the Norfolk Triplets. There we go. I'm going into that. Orion. Introduction to Part 2. Orion Comes Alive. These people are all in on it. Alfred Bielik. Al is Duncan's half-brother and was previously known as Edward Cameron. He remembers being aboard the USS Eldridge with Duncan during the Philadelphia experience, jumping aboard and landing at Montauk Point. I thought this had the actual picture in it. Fantastic Inventions of Nikola Tesla by Nicholas Tesla. I actually have that book. I don't know where it is at the moment. But I actually have Nikola Tesla's book that was basically a book made to be a textbook for engineers to make his devices, his generators, his motors. I mean, it has the design patents in it and everything. And it's like, wow. I don't know why I got the book right now. It was interesting reading his work. Tasty book. No. Can anyone come on board and talk to me about anything? Right. Just bring up a subject that you know about, and I maybe should know about, and that'd be cool. And I'm really looking forward to talking to somebody who can appear on here and be live. One who's not afraid to be alive. What's the factor take the seed out, but peanut? No, eat the whole thing. This is open chat. This means I expected to have an audience. I already did. I don't know why I don't have an audience. I mean, a lot of these things I can't. Oh, I get it. I can't even. Oh, there we go. God, this whole computer is like slow running suddenly. Okay, did I have to speed my account up any? Start video hangout. I'm already in a video hangout. I just don't know where I can post it. It's my hangout. I don't know why I can't. Well, you're not going to do that to me. No, it's not working. It seems to be the major mal. Oh, there it is. Seems to be the major malfunction here. Okay, I'm going to close this out because I'm not going to get anyone anyways. And I'll bring this in. Oh. I'm not getting anybody. I don't know. I'm not getting all the old people, the old-fashioned bloggers on here that used to come in and just come in. I don't know. $10.41. This is not helping me any. I'd like to have a lot of viewers and a lot of talkers. Talkers more than viewers. It'll make me more sadder than I am. Oh, I must be saddest. I want to come on and talk to me. I hope I put a face to my picture or something. Does that help? Does that make things nicey? I look like Santa Claus? Not yet. I try to. Anyways. Anyway. I can't get any chat going on. I mean, this is a chat, open chat. In other words, nobody should be on here right now. I can explain to you how to get on here. Okay, if you're on this page, you go at the very top, and if you can't see it, and you slowly move your pointer on your mouse across, and well, hell, I lost my pointer. That's interesting. There it is. Disappeared. You should be able to join it at this box up here. It has like binoculars or something. And you click on it. And somehow you should be able to get on here. I don't know what's going on. I have a delay on my side. I don't know why I have a delay. It's like, I don't know. There's nothing running. I don't see my hard drive running or anything. I just have a delay. And I'm trying to figure out what that delay is. And every night, it's a different problem. It's like they got me on that punchline. Now you know what that is. And if I say anything you don't like, it just cut me off. I don't know what to. Talk to me. Somebody. Oh, come on, Google. At least allow somebody to come on. All right. I'm curious why nobody can come on here and talk to me. Are these links everywhere? They're not showing up, or they don't work. I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. 10:19. Where are you at, TJ? My link, I think, on my other line. Yeah, I put it on my other line. Well. Nothing. Let others know you're here. Well, they should. I put it on my open talk on my Google Plus, which wouldn't let me start on it, but it leads you here anyways through IE. If you get IE, I don't know if you're getting IE or not.
We're live.
Oh, somebody here?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I snuck in the back door.
Damn, TJ, it's been years since I talked to you, it seems.
Yeah, I know. I was beginning to wonder where you've been.
Well, let me do an adjustment on this side.
You're gonna have to come down here to let us know.
I'm just gonna have to turn the I'll have to go to my microphone and turn on just the earphones. I got you on speakers for some reason.
Yeah, oh wait a minute.
I mean to say, okay, now I'm trying to turn on the speakers and figure out how to turn on. Well, I turned off the speakers and I'm trying to turn on the earphones. Give me a moment here to figure that out. It says my earphones are working, but I'm having okay. Why isn't that working? Give me a moment here. I'm trying to do something.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure you got settled in all right.
Oh, I'm normally able to get the earphones to come on without.
All right. Well,
use this device enable. Okay. Use internet. Okay. Should be working. My earphones are not working. That's
tell him to call, make sure. Tell him I got the iPad ready to send. Got to be a brand new iPad.
Hello?
Yeah, sorry, I got a phone call. Oh. Let's see if that's loud enough. Maybe. Who is this Jason Moy character? I see we have a Jason Moy. I'm not familiar with this
You
guy.
gotta be kidding me.
You must have had to change your name.
It was installed. Give me a moment. I'm working here. I got work on playback devices. And it's not showing it. It says disabled. Okay. We'll play this game.
Communications is the key.
Front panel.
I just realized my son has a degree in communications, and he lives in the city of
Right.
Chicago. He loves it up there. I was just up
And
there in the city of
should be
Chicago.
working. Why isn't it working? Okay, I'm going to go back to enable the speakers. Okay, they're not working. Okay, I'm still trying to. Now I've lost my speakers. I don't know why I've lost them now. They're actually. Okay, they're working. Test earphones. I got one side working. Okay. I don't know. I should be able to hear you. Give me a moment. Let me check my connection in Google Plus. That's probably what the problem is. It's in Google Plus. I gotta locate it. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Then I can give me the option to do my settings. Down here.
This isn't
I'm still
broadcast
working
the World
on
Wide
this.
Web, is it? This isn't on going over to 7 billion people worldwide, is it? This ain't live, is it on the web?
Okay. Let me think here. I'm not getting any of the options at the top of the screen at all. That's
Can
not
you
right.
exit and come right
That's
back?
just wrong.
Can you exit and come back?
Give me a moment. And I'll have this fixed. Give me a moment and I'll have it fixed. I'm having a moment of panic here. I'm trying to think of, well, I can't really restart this, which is very sucky. Okay, I got a red box. Mute microphone. No, I want settings. Now you got my cat. Meow.
Broadcasting from the heart of north central Illinois. My name is TJ Washington. Remember that ventriloquist, my name, Jose Jimenez? That was quite a while ago, folks. My name is Jose Jimenez. That was funny. Way back, that had to be 30, 40 years, at least 40 years ago. Yeah. So, I don't know if I'm live or not. Oh. We are live.